Now, Mary Jo White is investigating the financial improprieties, allegedly.
How do you do all this?
Amanda's engaged. Well, you have people working for you.
Man.
You delegate. That's how you do it. You delegate, and you stay up late. You delegate and you stay up late. She's also investigating the claim from Tiffany Johnston, a former Washington employee, that there was some sort of inappropriate conduct committed directly by team owner Daniel Snyder, and she's investigating the Miami Dolphins for the claim from former coach Brian Flores that he was offered $100,000 per loss in 2019. And now we become aware of an investigation that has been ongoing. SI.com had the report last night, and it was unclear where it all came from because I saw on Twitter a statement from the Browns. The Browns issued a statement to SI.com on request because SI was looking into the fact that the NFL is investigating the Browns for the oh-by-the-way claim that Hue Jackson made after Flores alleged that he was offered $100,000 per loss in 2019. Jackson said basically, and I'm paraphrasing, but same thing here. Happened with me.
Yeah. Oh, not exactly the same.
Then he backed off.
Yeah.
And the Browns pointed that out in their statement. They say he retracted his claim. I don't think it's quite that simple because he gave a quote to SI.com, Chris, where he says that he tried to go through the proper channels 2 years ago and raise this under the NFL's constitution and bylaws directly with the league, and they didn't investigate it then, so why are they investigating it now? So there's something there. I just think it's been poorly communicated by Hue Jackson as to what the something is.
Yeah, I don't disagree with you there. And yes, I would think there is something there. I don't think Hue Jackson would say this, just totally falsely, but I do think he kind of hurt his credibility a little bit in the situation by coming out so strong right off the bat, like, yeah, me too. And then, yeah, okay, now it's 2 or 3 interviews later, and it's not me too. It's you have a little different story, and you don't seem to be as strong as selling it as you did when you first came out. So that's where it's a little weird, but do I doubt that some sort of conversation like this went on maybe with a Hue Jackson in Cleveland? I don't. I certainly think it's worth investigating and checking out if you're Mary Jo in the NFL.
And this all comes down to how aggressively she investigates, how many rocks she overturns, and what the league wants to find. Again, this is my opinion. I don't need to get sued by Mary Jo White or anyone else, but I know from experience, you don't continue to get hired by a major client to conduct independent investigations if you aren't giving them what they want. Whatever it is they want, they're happy with her work. And I don't think it's like, oh, she uses a great penmanship. They're happy with the result, not the process. And at a certain point, let's put it this way too, and this comes up from time to time, because the NFL likes to hide behind this idea that it's using truly independent investigators. It's not. They're beholden to the league. They want to keep getting work from the league. And the more work Mary Jo White gets from the league, the less independent she is necessarily, because you've basically become, like a satellite office for the NFL. Hey, hey, Mary Jo, we got another one for you. All right, I'm on it. If they weren't happy with everything she was doing, they would not be continuing to hire her. She's giving them what they're looking for, and that can corrupt the process because sometimes you start to try to guess what you think the person who keeps hiring you to do these interviews really wants and these investigations. So I say all that because if there's anything here, here's what I think it is. And this is speculation informed by an understanding of how things work and how the sausage gets made. I would not be surprised if the truth here is, Chris, that the Browns had a system of incentives for Hue Jackson and others in the organization that were tied to factors that were not conducive to winning now, but winning later, like not using all your cap space, like finding a way to stockpile draft picks, other things that would show that you're really not trying to win now. Not we're paying you to lose, but we're giving you financial incentives to do these various things that, when all taken together, it's going to make it pretty damn hard to lose right now.
Man, yeah, I hear what you're saying.
And so it's a more subtle way of doing what Stephen Ross did. It's a more engineered type of tanking. It's more strategic.
Yeah,
it's not It's not, hey, Hugh, here's $100,000 for every game you lose. It's we've got benchmarks to determine bonuses, and we're going to base these bonuses on how much cap space we carry over from 2016 to 2017, 2017, 2018, 2018, 2019, whatever. How many draft picks we have, that kind of thing. How many free agents we sign or don't sign. And that's a way to bake tanking into your broader structure without it being obvious.
It's interesting.
And again, that's speculation, but that could be what Hue Jackson's talking about.
It is interesting. I mean, I'll be interested to hear what he says, or what his vision of whatever was being portrayed to him as far as what they wanted losing. Yeah, you're right. That way, it's not your traditional way of tanking. You're still coaching and playing to win the game. But you've set yourself up.
You got a hand tied behind your back.
But you've set yourself up, yes, to not really put you in the best spot to actually coach your best and win the game. So that's where I guess this is my thing. And not that I mean, we've seen crazy crap in the NFL. That just seems like a lot to keep quiet. Like, I just feel like that would have came out already. If there was that intricate of a detailed plan. You talked about it a few minutes ago, how impressive it was for Mahomes and Kelsey to keep a Tyreek Hill thing quiet. I have a hard time thinking a bunch of people in the front office can keep that quiet either, too. But if you're getting money, maybe that'll make you be quiet. That's for sure, too. I don't know.
But didn't we know that that's what they were doing? That the analytics plan that was put in place by Paul DePodesta was based on sucking now to be better later? It was kind of like an open secret. Like, they're not really trying to win. This is what they're doing. They're stockpiling picks. They're waiting to make their play later. And it worked.
But there's a difference, though. There's a difference to me than that, though. That's just playing the long play and not going all in on a year. So that's where, yeah, it'll be interesting to kind of see how that's planned out. Because you're right. I mean, I know what you're saying. They are doing that. But to what extent, you can't bite off your nose to spite your face for the future, too, just to do that. So that would – I got to see some of the details, I guess is what I'm saying, to believe it, or really where this is going with Hue Jackson, because I'm kind of confused by his claim altogether.
Did you say bite off your nose to spite your face?
Yes,
did you say
did.
that again?
Yes, I did.
That's one of your classics. See, I need to point out to anyone who's inclined to email me to say there's a new Simmsism, it's not new. Trust me, it is not new. Most of them at this point are not new. This is just, a re-airing of past comments. This gets to the point, though, that came up in the immediate aftermath of the Flores allegation.
Yeah.
Because the only reason that Stephen Ross was suggesting, if the allegation is true, that the Dolphins lose games in 2019 is he wanted to have the highest possible draft pick in 2020. It's not like he's betting on the Patriots when they're playing the Dolphins and he wants Brian Flores to lose so he can win the bet that he's made against his team. And that's why the draft structure is flawed. And the NFL is deliberately ignorant of it. I think they know, but they act like they don't know, because their attitude is every team tries to win every game. Every team does its best to win every game, no matter the stakes, no matter the week, no matter whether or not you have the 1 seed or you're the worst team in the league. Everybody's trying to win all the time. Integrity of the game, integrity of the game, integrity of the game. And we know that's baloney. We know it's baloney. It was proven with the Buccaneers week 17 of the 2014 season when they removed half their starters to deliberately lose a game that they were winning against the Saints. Sean Payton told that story Super Bowl week. He said he has somebody who talks to him when changes are made, when somebody's out, if there's an injury, hey, the left cornerback's out. And it's like they're going over and over again, like half their team was out when they came out for the second half. Everybody knew what the Buccaneers were doing. So there are reasons to do it because of the way that those draft picks are awarded. Until the NFL changes that incentive is going to be there. So whether it's something specific, like I'll pay $100,000 to lose, or whether it's a broader incentive structure that does not prioritize winning now, but prioritizes having more draft picks to build a team later, that's a reality of the NFL.
Yeah, it is a reality of the NFL. I do think there's a little difference there. There's a difference, though, to me. At least in my opinion. Again, okay, wait, last game of the year, we've kind of already made our bed. So now in the second half, we're going to just make sure we don't win this game so we can have the number 1 pick. There's a difference to me in that, and then to, hey, owner telling coach, lose this game next week, lose every game here down the stretch, and here's money to do it. That's a different ball game to me. And that one is egregious and it is wrong. Another one, again, I don't know how
You're still trying to land the plane. You're still trying to land the plane for the first overall pick in the draft.
I get you, but one has shown weeks and weeks of evidence of like not trying to put your best foot forward. The other one, at least you can't prove that. They went finally, we put our best forward, we stink. Let's make sure we get the number 1 pick here. There is a difference to me in that, and maybe I'm not explaining or getting to the core differences there the best way.
Peyton's view on that is once you cross that bridge, you can't go back.
Yeah.
That if you do that, you are inflicting a wound upon your program that can't be repaired because there are individuals, players, coaches, etc. that you want to have a winning culture.
Yes.
And winning means winning every game.
Right.
Winning, trying to win. So whatever you gain from deliberately losing is going to be offset by what you lose by not trying to win, if that makes any sense.
It makes total sense. We talk about this a lot towards the end of the year. We talked about this with Detroit, right? We were all, should they lose? Should they do this? No, you got to start building something, win games, start giving the team and the players to go, wait, things are going in the right direction at the end of the year. And then you can hit the offseason feeling positive, and added to the fact of like, what we've talked about so much, these coaches, it gets put on their gravestone what their records are. A lot of the times, you want me to lose, but you're going to hold me to that losing season 3 years from now. So I'm not going to lose. Screw you. We're going to win. They're going to go down fighting more times than not because of all the reasons you just said. It does. It will spread through your organization. And you're going to have coaches that won't like it, and then coaches are going to tell players that's going on. Hey, we didn't really try to win that game. And all of a sudden it filters through your locker room, and you got a bunch of losers, and you're a loser organization. So that's where you got to be careful.
Pete said to me that it worked for the Eagles week 17 of 2020. Did it, though? Doug Peterson got fired after that. There was no coming back from that. The organization picked up the draft picks. But, again, that was the other example. And when Peyton talks openly about tanking, he points to those two examples. Week 17, the Buccaneers in 2014, week 17 of the Eagles in 2020 as situations where there was a deliberate personnel change that was made for one reason and one reason only, to lose games. And, again, the problem is the NFL is so strident in its position that this never happens that it makes it laughable when we see it, and they just ignore it. They don't want to deal with the flaw, the inherent and obvious flaw that they incentivize losing by giving the team who gets the worst record the best pick in the draft. It's like it magically appears that this team has. How does the Jaguars have the first? Because they blow, they stink, they're horrible. That's why they have the first pick in the draft, and they earned that. They worked hard to earn that first pick in the draft. So there's a firewall in the NFL's mind between what you do in the regular season and where you are in the draft. But we're 9 days away from the marquee offseason tentpole event. And look at this. Ooh, you want to have a high pick in the draft. Well, there's a way to get it. That's the fundamental problem here. And we don't have time to get into solutions. We've talked about them in the past, potential solutions to this. But that incentive is the reason why Brian Flores is saying what he said, why Hue Jackson may be saying what he said, why the Bucs did what they did, why the Eagles did what they did. There's a reason to do it. There is a win through that loss late in the season, whether it's a half of a game, a half of a month, or half of a season.
Yeah, I know. There is a win. And again, I don't know where the line is, but there is a line or a difference to me. And again, what Sean Payton you're saying, or what the Tampa Bay Bucs and Philadelphia Eagles did, as opposed to what Brian Flores is alleging from Miami Dolphins. To me, there is a difference there. One is actively trying to lose the whole year for the most part, or at least half the year. The other one tried to win and just got to the last game of the year and went, okay, wait, if we lose, we get to 1. If we win, we're the 3rd pick. And, not that we're going to go out here and, actively lose, but we're going to pull players. There's a difference there. Ross was asking the coach, allegedly again, to not coach as good and do all the other things, too, to add to go with that. And that to me there is a difference. And I don't know where you draw that line or how you figure that out, but one's more egregious to me than the other.
We need to take a break, but for all we know,
Yeah.
for all we know, because we don't know what the truth is here, and we may never know the absolute truth, the whole truth and nothing but the truth, but for all we know, Ross was trying to set up a system kind of like what they had in Cleveland, where they deliberately take a step back. They deliberately prioritize stockpiling cap space and draft picks. And you know, when you go back and look at what they did in 2019, they were bad at first. After the bye, I think that's when Brian Flores decided, I can't do this. I can't go along with this. And so they start winning games. So the plan starts not working. And maybe at some point, Stephen Ross gets exasperated and says, what do I have to do? Pay $100,000 per loss? What do I have to do to get what I'm trying to get here? So again, we don't know the context. We don't know what was said. We don't know if it was actually said. These are all things that are being investigated under the rubric of Mary Jo White and her independent review of what occurred. But there's a lot of different ways this can manifest itself. That's our point. Because of the way the draft picks are determined, there's a lot of different ways that tanking can happen. And because of that system, we're now dealing with the Browns, the Dolphins, and whatever else may come up.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.